एलोपैथिक उसके प्रमाण अनुसार है, प्लस WHO के जो प्रमाण है उसके अनुसार सब आयुष मेडिसिन का उत्पादन किया जाता है, जिससे सब लोगों को ये अच्छी क्वालिटी की मेडिसिन मिले। थैंक यू सर।
Question number 35, Dr. M. Tambidurai.
Question number 35, sir.
Honorable Minister.
On the table.
Supplementary 1, Dr. M. Tambidurai.
Sir, I want to know from you, sir, whether a Honorable Minister aware, as per the data released by National Statistical Office, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, the inflation rate is very high during the 4 months, and also the price rose steep for vegetables at 27.6%, pulses 20.7%, spices at 19.7%, and fruits at 11% retail price. Whether the minister knows all this, any steps has taken for that.
Honorable Minister.
Sir, actually the prices have started coming down and it is well within the tolerance band. Lots of steps have been taken by the government, particularly for meeting the shortage in supply of perishable goods. If you would indulge me a minute, I would just explain in 1 or 2 cases the details to which we have taken steps, and that will be applicable for many others which I will not elaborate so that I don't take the valuable time of the House. So for instance, sir, reasons, of course, I'll start with. One, we don't grow enough of pulses in this country. So pulses prices are normally because of the shortfall in supply, for which, in anticipation, depending on the crop estimates, we start tying up for imports. Now, tuvar dal, sir, has to be imported mainly from Mozambique, Myanmar, Tanzania, Sudan and Malawi, and also Kenya and Nigeria to some extent. We have imported 8.79 lakh metric tons of tuvar in the calendar year 2023. So the moment these come, we literally release them in the market, and of course the traders are the ones with permits who import them and also market them. Similarly for masoor, 15.14 lakh metric tons of masoor have also been imported, and this is again calendar year 2023. So similarly for urad, I'll come to talking about onions, sir. 25 kgs at 25 rupees per kg, onions have been ready to release. The total release will be available as of 3rd February 2024. We have released 3.96 lakh metric tons of onions in the market at that price of 25 rupees per kg. Now, import restrictions have also been made so that India-grown onions, well, it does mean a certain kind of implication on the farmer because he gets better price selling outside, but because we want onions to be available in India, we've curtailed their exports so that the prices can be kept within a reasonable limit. Similarly, I did tell about the dal. We've also got a branded Bharat dal through which chena is made available at 60 rupees per kg for 1 kg packs, or 55 rupees per kg for 30 kg packs. So literally 2.97 lakh metric tons of chena have been sold already by 31st January 2024 at that price, and which is therefore an effort as a result of the effort that we've taken. And these Bharat dal, branded dal, which is coming at a concessional price, is available in ONDC, in Blinkit, JioMart, and all other big retail outlets. So such steps have been taken for tomatoes and others as well. So not only is the government seized, as the honourable member is saying, of the difficulties which arise due to perishable or commodities which are not grown in India, a committee sits, reviews periodically, and efforts have shown result on the ground that the inflation level is now within the tolerable band.
Dr. M. Thambidurai.
Thank you very much for the minister's reply, sir. The another thing, reasons for the retail price is the price of the diesel and petrol. Government is taking, central government reducing the price. I want to know from Honorable Minister whether this government is directing like state governments like Tamil Nadu, which promised in the election to reduce the price, not yet reduce the petrol VAT price. Whether the government will aware and direct the Tamil Nadu government, which promised the election manifesto to
Honorable
reduce
Minister.
further. That is I want to know.
Sir, the honorable member has raised a very important question, sir. I'll just go back for a minute to say how the central government has reduced the central excise duty on petrol and diesel by 5 rupees per litre and 10 rupees per litre, respectively, in November 2021. And again in May 2022, central excise duty on petrol and diesel was reduced by 8 rupees per litre and 6 rupees per litre, respectively. Over and above this, for cooking gas, 300 rupees subsidy is being given on the 14.2 kg cylinder for up to 12 refills that people might take. For all 12 refills, this is being given. So central government is constantly taking steps to make sure that we give the necessary subsidy, we reduce the price where it is possible, and therefore to reduce the burden on the common citizen. As for the state governments, sir, we can only request that all the country, all citizens be treated equally, and therefore such a reduction be taken up by the respective state governments. But it gets reflected in the fact that the inflation within that state remains high because of not reducing such prices where it is possible for state governments and the central government to reduce. At best, we can only, with such voices, there are few states who have not done it, their citizens bear the brunt, and that has to be made very publicly aware.
Sri Praful Patel.
Retail inflation has been largely kept in check in the last many years, and I must compliment the Honorable Finance Minister and the government for having maintained a reasonable degree of inflation levels commensurate to the rising income levels of people in the country. But there are few items sometimes which become very sensitive. And she just was replying to my colleague's question about onions. I must also say that onions have always been like a very sensitive and a politically touchy subject, because at times the prices really come down because of overproduction. Sometimes it's the other way around because of shortages. The prices go the other way around. And the farmers usually react very, I would say aggressively compared to many other crops. My request to the Honorable Finance Minister is that there are some countries where there are, onion grower, I would say, it's not like a cooperative, but they are like organizations which monitor. And nowadays we have much more access to scientific data, where we can monitor the production levels as well as, the kind of crop patterns which will be over a period of time, sowing and so on. So if we can find a much more stable mechanism, you are buying through NAFED and other organizations to stabilize the prices for the farmers. Sometimes we have exports of onions which we suddenly ban, suddenly we allow exports. This kind of uncertainty creates this kind of a situation. May I ask the Minister whether she has any thoughts on this?
Honorable Minister.
Presently, we have only steps which are being taken so that the preservation of very highly perishable commodities like onion can be bettered. So using gamma rays, on which the BRC is working, Baba Atomic Research Center is working with government, so that we are able to I don't know if I'm using the right expression, dehumidify it, remove the humidity content in it by using gamma rays, and then give it a longer shelf life. So steps like this are being considered. I'm not sure whether there's any attempt to have a exchange of ideas between the different federations or organizations of onion growers that may exist in different countries. I'm not very sure on that. But fact remains that efforts for giving a longer shelf life is being taken care of. And even as I gave the answer to Honorable Member Thambidurai, the concern of onion growers as opposed to the concern of onion consumers has always been a very fragile, if I may say so, or a very delicate issue. Because the moment you keep the consideration of the consumer in mind, the farmers do have a problem because exports do fetch good price. I'm conscious of that.
But Honorable Minister is favorable to consideration of the idea.
Well, a very valuable suggestion, sir. I'll certainly take it on and pass it to the concerned minister.
Srimati Sulata Dev.
थैंक यू चेयरमैन सर, मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री जी से ये जानना चाहती हूँ, अगर हमारे देश में वन नेशन वन जीएसटी का प्रचलन हो रहा है तो फिर वन नेशन वन इनकम टैक्स का प्रचलन क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? क्योंकि ये ओल्ड रीजन और न्यू रीजन का जो कन्फ्यूजन है वो 3 करोड़ 4 करोड़ लोग टैक्स पे करते हैं, फिर भी वो कन्फ्यूजन में रहते हैं। इसको सरलीकरण कब किया जाए? अगर कोई व्यवस्था है कि ट्रांजिट पीरियड तो 3 साल हो गया, 1 साल 2 साल में हो जाता है, मगर ये बहुत प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहा है। अगर कोई ऐसा प्रावधान है कि ये इसको भी वन नेशन और वन इनकम टैक्स में ला सकते हैं क्या? अगर है तो बताइए प्लीज। नमस्ते।
Honorable Minister, beyond technical aspect.
I know, sir, but the question, of course, pertains to inflation and so on. But certainly the issue that the Honourable Member is raising, that if we could do it for indirect taxes, why not for direct taxes, is a worthy issue on which I'm willing to debate anytime she and you would want me to come and talk about it now.
Dr. Fozia Khan.
In the current scenario, I would like to ask the Honourable Minister, with e-commerce gaining momentum and retail inflation showing rise, is the government considering technologically aligned solutions to access the impact of these services? How does the government plan to navigate the fluctuations in retail inflation concerning these emerging e-commerce trends of higher shift and more reliance of these services in the urban setup?
Honourable Minister.
So pardon me, sir, can I have the question repeated?
Fozia Khan ji.
Ma'am, I'm talking about technologically aligned solutions to e-commerce, considering the rising trends in inflation. So does the government plan to navigate the fluctuations in retail inflation concerning these emerging e-commerce trends?
It's a very pertinent question, so much for the process of monitoring inflation. The discussion pertains to inflation and the brunt being borne by the consumers and the brunt being borne by the farmers, particularly in the case of onions, as we spoke about, because the price affects one the one way, the other way. But certainly the process of monitoring inflation and the basket, and within the basket the items and their weightages, are issues which are being discussed not just for the e-commerce or the technology digital-driven prices, but the components which go into items which constitute the CPI basket or which constitute the WPI basket. And each item's weightage within that basket are things which have to be discussed in the Ministry of Program and Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI as it is briefly referred to. It's a very critical question, sir, but I'm sure the MOSPI will be seized of it.
Question number 36, Shri Shakti Singh Gohil, not present. Honourable Minister.
पोर्टल पर रखा दिया सर।
Shri Rakesh Sinha.
सभापति महोदय, मैं मंत्री जी से जानना चाहता हूं कि बरौनी में जो फर्टिलाइजर की कंपनी है, क्या उसमें नैनो उत्पादन के लिए व्यवस्था की जाएगी?
Honourable Minister.
महोदय, अभी तक तो ऐसा कोई वहां पर हमने कोई निर्णय नहीं लिया। किया है सर।
Question hour over.
की है सर।
Motion for suspension of Rule 17, Shri Prahlad Joshi to move the following motion: that the House do suspend the provisions of Rule 17 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States Rajya Sabha in its application to the motion for consideration and passing of 1. The Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024, 2. The Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024, 3. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024 by the House. Honorable Minister.
Sir, with your permission, I raise to move the following motion. That this House do
क्योंकि आप present हो
suspend
sir.
the provisions of the Rule 17 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of State Rajya Sabha in its application to the motion for consideration and passing of the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024, the Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024 by the House.
Motion moved. Those in favor will please say ayes. Those against will please say noes. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Motion is adopted. Sri Arjun Munda to move the motion for consideration of the following bills. A. The Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024, and B. The Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Orders Amendment Bill 2024.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, आंध्र प्रदेश राज्य के संबंध में संविधान अनुसूचित जनजाति आदेश संशोधन विधेयक 2024 को विचार में लाया जाए। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, इस विधेयक के द्वारा राज्य के 3 विशेष रूप से कमजोर जनजातीय समूह पीवीटीजी, जिनका अभी तक जनजातीय श्रेणी में समावेश नहीं हो पाया था, ऐसे 3 समुदाय बोंडो पोरोजा, खोंड पोरोजा, कोंडा सवरा को जनजातीय समुदाय में शामिल करने हेतु, और बी उड़ीसा राज्य के संबंध में संविधान अनुसूचित जनजाति और अनुसूचित जनजाति आदेश संशोधन विधेयक 2024 के विचारार्थ इस विधेयक के जरिए उड़ीसा राज्य में रहने वाले कई ऐसे समुदाय जो आज़ादी के इतने लंबे कालखंड के उपरांत भी अपनी पहचान जनजातीय समुदाय के रूप में नहीं बना पाए, उनके समावेश का प्रस्ताव है। अब यह चर्चा के बाद में मैं इस संबंध में पूरी जानकारी सदन को दूँ।
Motion moved. Motion for consideration of the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024 and the Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Orders Amendment Bill 2024 are now open for discussion. I shall now call upon the members whose names have been received for participation in the discussion. Dr. Shantanu Sen, not present. Dr. K. Lakshman, 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, sir.
वो चलेगा बाद में. That is why rule has been relaxed. Sir, you were gainfully engaged in interacting with the honorable leader of the opposition when the issue was being addressed. Please, Dr. Lakshman.
Thank you, sir. I stand here in support of this 2 bills proposed by our Honorable Minister Sri Arjun Munda ji. The bill pertaining to Constitution Scheduled Tribe Order Amendment Bill 2024, Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Order Amendment Bill 2024. सबसे पहले मैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूं कि समाज के अंदर जो भी छोटे छोटे समुदाय जो है, पहली बार सरकार ने इतना महत्व और ऐतिहासिक निर्णय लेकर इस शेड्यूल ट्राइब में जोड़ना। इतिहास के अंदर जो स्वतंत्र सेनानी और अंग्रेजी के खिलाफ ऐसे समुदाय जो लड़े हैं, उनका आज 75 साल के बाद उनको आज हमारे सरकार ने महत्व देना है। इतना ही नहीं, पूरा देश के अंदर लगभग 75 साल के आज़ादी के अंदर जिन वर्गों का जो इतिहास में गौरव नहीं दिया गया, वैसे लोगों का भी सम्मान और गौरव बढ़ाना। To bring these communities into mainstream line, the government has taken many steps and measures for their upliftment and empowerment, and also due recognition has been given to these communities. जैसे मुर्मू समाज जो है, अंग्रेजी के खिलाफ स्वतंत्र के लिए जो लड़ाई लड़े, हजारों संख्या में वो हमारे जान अर्पित किए, पर कोई सरकार ने उनका मान्यता नहीं दिया गया था। हजारों संख्या में हमारे देश के स्वतंत्र के लिए जो लड़े ऐसे आदिवासी समुदाय, ये मुर्मू समाज, पहली बार 75 साल के अंदर मोदी जी ने एक आदिवासी महिला के नाते मुर्मू समाज से जो आई है, हमारे महामहिम द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी को राष्ट्रपति बनाना, ये इतना मान्यता देना जो आज हम आज़ादी के अंदर जो हम जी रहे हैं, इन्हीं के त्याग से आज हमारा स्वातंत्र्य हम जो पाए, उनका इतना महत्व देना। और हम देख रहे हैं किस तरह अभी हमारा महामहिम राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू बनने से पूरा समाज का, उन समुदाय का मान सम्मान और गौरव ही नहीं, पूरा देश को एक संकेत, जो भी नेग्लेक्टेड थे, जो भी डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड सेक्शंस थे, उनको आज मेन स्ट्रीम में लाना सिर्फ और सिर्फ हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी से ही संभव हुआ। इतना ही नहीं, हमारे भगवान बिरसा मुंडा जी, उनका जयंती जो 15 नवंबर को जो मनाया जाता है, वो भी स्वतंत्र सेनानी के नाते जो देश के हित के लिए जो जान कुर्बानी किए। मैं पहली बार मोदी जी सरकार ने उनको आज गौरव देते हुए उनका जयंती उत्सव पूरा देश भर में जनजातीय गौरव उत्सव के दिवस के नाते मनाना, इस क्योंकि ऐसे अनसंग हीरोज जितने भी हैं, वैसे लोगों को भी ये छोटे छोटे जातियाँ जो भी है लोग, उनका भी आज महत्व देना। आज हम पूरा देश भर में ट्राइबल सेक्शन जो है और उनके नाम पर, मैं जहाँ से आता हूँ तेलंगाना, वहाँ तेलंगाना में भी इस बीच में जो ट्राइबल यूनिवर्सिटी जो मंजूरी दिया गया है, वो ट्राइबल यूनिवर्सिटी मंजूरी देने के बावजूद वो ट्राइबल यूनिवर्सिटी के नाम सम्मक्का सारक्का के नाम पर एक जो विश्वविद्यालय, उनके जो आदिवासी के संस्कृति हो, आदिवासी के जो संप्रदाय हो, उसमें एक कोर्स और उसका भी महत्व बढ़ाना, उनका भी मान्यता देना, ताकि हमारा जो कल्चर है, ट्राइबल कल्चर, उनका भी आज जो सम्मक्का सारक्का जो है आदिवासी देवता जो हम मानते हैं, पूरा देश ही नहीं और बाकी देशों से भी इतना बड़ा संख्या में वो मानते हैं। उनका भी त्याग जो था, ये वो त्याग पूरा तेलंगाना ने पूरा आज आदिवासी मानते हैं। ये कुंभ मेला जैसा हर 2 साल को जो मनाते हैं, ये दक्षिण का कुंभ मेला भी मानते हैं। ऐसे चीज़ों को भी आज मोदी जी ने मान्यता देना, ट्राइबल यूनिवर्सिटी मंजूरी देना और ट्राइबल यूनिवर्सिटी के नाम भी सम्मक्का सारक्का के जात्रा, जो मेडारम जात्रा के नाते जो वहाँ बड़ा फेस्टिवल जो किया जाता है, अभी आने वाले दिनों में इस महीने में भी बड़ा एक त्यौहार मना जा रहा है। पूरा देश भर से, सिर्फ तेलंगाना, आंध्र प्रदेश, उड़ीसा, झारखंड नहीं, कई राज्यों से बड़ी पैमाने से आते हैं। ऐसा महत्व देना मोदी जी से ही संभव हुआ। इसके पहले भी जैसे एससी कमीशन का और जो संवैधानिक दर्जा दिया था, भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार में आने के बाद भी जो एसटी कमीशन को भी पहली बार संवैधानिक दर्जा दिया गया। संवैधानिक दर्जा देने से उनका जो हक है, हक आरक्षण जितने भी है उनका कायम रखने के लिए अगर कोई भी उसका उल्लंघन किया तो ये जुडिशियल एक्शन लेने के पहली बार हमारा सरकारी जब एसटी कमीशन का भी एक संवैधानिक दर्जा दिया था। इस बीच में भी हम देख रहे हमारे मंत्री महोदय ने जो आदिवासी के लिए अच्छा, बच्चों के लिए अच्छा शिक्षा प्राप्त करने के लिए एकलव्य मॉडल जो रेजिडेंशियल स्कूल आज चलाया जा रहा है, लगभग 401 नया एकलव्य मॉडल गुरुकुल स्कूल्स भी मंजूरी दिया और शुरू भी किया गया। 3958 वंदन विकास सेंटर्स भी आज मंजूरी दिया गया ताकि लगभग 12 लोग आज ट्राइबल के उसमें भागीदार बन गए। इस तरह आज और अन्य छोटे छोटे जातियाँ जितने भी वो नेग्लेक्टेड थे, डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड थे, आज ये सरकार आने के बाद उनके उत्थान के लिए कई निर्णय लिया जा रहा है। शिक्षा में हो, सरकारी नौकरी में हो, और उसके अलावा राजनीतिक क्षेत्र के अंदर भी राष्ट्रपति ही नहीं, और आज एसटी के संख्या अगर देखेंगे तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी में चाहे एमएलए हो, चुने हुए एमएलए हो और एमपी हो और एमएलसी हो, इतनी बड़ी संख्या में सिर्फ भारतीय जनता पार्टी में ये आज एसटी का आज महत्व दिया जा रहा है, संगठन में भी और सरकार में भी। इस तरह आज पूरा जो जातियां ऐसे छुटे हुए थे, आज जम्मू कश्मीर के रिजर्वेशन के बिल में भी पहली बार हम आज़ादी के बाद वहाँ के भी आदिवासियों को पहली बार रिजर्वेशन दिया जा रहा है एसटी के नाम पे। आज जो जब भी चुनाव होते हैं, आज चुनाव के समय में पहली बार एसटी का भी आज रिप्रेजेंटेशन जम्मू कश्मीर में दिया जा रहा है। इस तरह लोकल बॉडीज़ में हो और हमारे एमएलएस एमपीस भी हो, ये संख्या रोज़ रोज़ जिस तरह आज बढ़ा जा रहा है, और कई राज्यों में छोटे छोटे तक मांग भी है। ऐसा एक मांग है, दो भी है, वॉशरमैन है, कई राज्यों में ओबीसी है, कई राज्यों में एसटी है, उनका भी आज मांग है कि हमारा भी ये एसटी का सूची में जोड़ने का मांग है। ऐसे लोग, ऐसे छोटे छोटे जातियों के भी आज हमारे सरकार में ध्यान देने के लिए मैं हमारे मंत्री महोदय से विनती करता हूँ, क्योंकि इतने छोटे जातियों को आज महत्व मिलना इस बिल के माध्यम से आंध्रा में भी हो, उड़ीसा में भी हो, जो अब जातियाँ जुड़े जा रहे हैं, मैं सरकार को, हमारे मंत्रिमंडल को धन्यवाद देता हूं। और ख़ास तौर से मोदी जी ने इतना जो महत्व और ऐतिहासिक निर्णय जो लिया जा रहा है एसटी के माध्यम ट्राइबल के लिए, मैं अपनी ओर से धन्यवाद देके समाप्त करता हूँ।
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर के लक्ष्मण जी। माननीय श्री एम सन्मुगम, 5 मिनट्स।
Thank you, Chairman, sir. First of all, I thank the Honorable Minister to include the list of scheduled tribes on the recommendation of the Government of Andhra Pradesh and the Government of Odisha. The tribal community is a very vulnerable community. Sir, on the basis of recommendation of the State Government of Andhra Pradesh and after consultation with the Registrars General of India and the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes in the bill, it is proposed to modify the list of scheduled tribes in respect of State of Andhra Pradesh by amending the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 and to include tribes like Borja, Bonda Borja, Honda, Hond Borja, Paranjabri, etc. Similarly, for the state of Orissa, Boya, Boyan, Baudi Boyan are being included through the bill. Our party DMK is dedicated to the cause of social justice, and our great leaders Thandai Periyar, Perarinyar Anna and Kalaiñar Karunanidhi have all devoted themselves their entire life for the amelioration of the backward society, and because of their great movement, we could have 69% reservation in our state. Sir, in this contest, our state government, headed by Thiru M.K. Stalin, have sent a recommendation to the union government for inclusion of Kurumanas community in the list of scheduled tribes for the state of Tamil Nadu. The Director, Tribal Affairs, already recommended and given the explanation on the basis of social structure, clan organization, life cycle, rituals, and the names of Kurumba, Kurumbar, and Kuruman are synonymously and identical with the Kurumanas. Various anthropological studies and observations reveal they belong to the same community, which is listed serial number 18 of ST list Tamil Nadu. However, unfortunately, this government has not taken any necessary action. I would demand that this community, which is the most backward and predominantly a tribal nomadic community, should be included in the ST list at the earliest. And one more point I want to explain this house. Sir, from one state to another, there are huge migration. Most of the migrations are scheduled tribes people only. Some of the states, they have listed in the scheduled tribes. Some of the states, that list is not there. So that tribal peoples can't get the tribal community certificate. Even in the same state also, they migrated from one district to another district, and they get married to somebody else also. So they are asking them to prove their community. So it is impossible for them to prove that also. So they are not get the community. Father is tribal, mother is tribal, but the sons and daughters are not getting the certificates. These are the problems should also be taken into account. I urge the ministry to solve those problems. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, M. Shanmugam. माननीय श्री निरंजन VC, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir. First of all, I welcome Government of India, Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, and our Home Ministers Sri Amit Shah ji, and our beloved Ministry of Tribal Affairs Sri Arjun Munda ji for this historical bill. The Constitution SC/ST Order Amendment Bill 24 has been introduced in interim budget session by our Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Sri Arjun Munda ji, in the state of Odisha by amending the Constitution SC/ST Order 1950. Our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Naveen Patnaik had recommended for inclusion of 4 PVTG in their own name. They are Pauri Bhuya, Chuktiya Bhunja, Bondo, and Mankidiyas. Our Chief Minister had also recommended for omitting 2 communities, Tamadia and Tamudia, from the list of scheduled caste. And our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Naveen Patnaik had also recommended for inclusion of communities that have phonetic variation of the communities in the existing list of scheduled tribe. They are Durua, Bonda Poroja, Bonda Poroja, Bonda Poroja, Durua, Kuor, Konwar tribes, and inclusion of Kui Kondho as a new sub tribe, and Uram, Urao, Dhangra, Uram Mudi, and Barenga Jhodia, Poroja, Penga Poroja, Pengu Poroja, Celia Poroja as synonym of scheduled tribe Poroja. Likewise, Rajuad, as synonym of Medicare, Sahara as synonym of under Sabara community. So I welcome, I congratulate our Prime Minister, our Home Minister, and our Chief Minister Odisha, and also our Sri Arjun Munda, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Sir. Thank you.
धन्यवाद माननीय निरंजन जी। माननीय श्री रायगा कृष्णैया नॉट प्रेजेंट। श्रीमती ममता मोहंता जी 3 मिनट।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। मुझे आपने दी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन शेड्यूल ट्राइब ऑर्डर अमेंडमेंट बिल 2024 में बोलने का मौका दिया। महोदय, आदिवासी को मूलवासी भी कहा जाता है। विश्व ब्रह्मांड आरंभ के समय के साथ आदिवासी समुदाय भारतवर्ष में है, जो प्रकृति के साधक है। जहाँ जाए तो इस समुदाय के लिए जंगल, जमीन और जल सुरक्षित है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं ये लोग आज भी अपनी मौलिक अधिकार के लिए लड़ाई कर रहे हैं। स्वाधीन भारत को 75 साल हो गया है। अब समय है उन लोग को उनकी हक दिया जाए, उनका परिचय दिया जाए, परिचय से वंचित वर्ग को आदिवासी मान्यता दिया जाए। महोदय, आंध्र देश की परजा, बंडो परजा, कंद परजा, परंगी परजा, सबरस, कपू सबरस, मालिया कबरस, कंद सबरस एवं खोटा सबरस वर्ग को आदिवासी मान्यता देने का आवश्यकता है। ऐसे ही ओडिशा की हो सम्बलपुरी, साउरा, मुंडारी भाषा को संविधान 8वीं परिषद में शामिल करना चाहिए। ओडिशा की मयूरभंज जिला के भंज पुराण वर्ग आदिवासी मान्यता पाने से वंचित है। आदिवासी की शिक्षा विकास क्षेत्रों में स्थापित एकलव्य मॉडल रेसिडेंटल स्कूल आवश्यकता से कम है। मेरे मयूरभंज जिला आदिवासी अध्युषित जिला है। आदिवासी संप्रदाय को शिक्षा क्षेत्रों में आगे बढ़ाने के लिए वहां प्रति ब्लॉक में यह स्कूल स्थापना करना जरूरी है। महोदय, कुछ आदिवासी वर्ग सरकारी मान्यता दिए हैं, लेकिन स्पेलिंग गलत होने के कारण ये वर्ग सुविधा सुजग से वंचित है। इसे पुनर्संशोधन करना जरूरी है। भूयांग, बंड परजा, मांकड़िया, तामुडिया, भूमिज, दरुआ, कन्नौर, ओराम, परजा, राजुआर, सौरा आदि संप्रदाय का स्पेलिंग भूल है। ओडिशा सरकार की रिकमेंडेशन के अनुसार अभिवक्त कोरापुट जिला में अवस्थित मुकादोरा, नौकादोरा और कोंडदोरा वर्ग को आदिवासी वर्ग में शामिल करना जरूरी है। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू। Dr. M. Thambidurai ji, 2 minutes, sir.
And sir, I am very proud, and also, as our Shanmugam said, the Justice Party and Dravidian Party pioneers for reservation policy in India. 1926, Dr. Subbarayan was the Chief Minister at that time, that we were made a reservation, and also, MGR, when the 69%, he made the reservation for the OBC people and also scheduled caste people, and also then afterwards Madam Prachida Amma Jayalalitha made the constitutional to include amendment in 9th schedule. She helped that. That is our Dravidian Party always for the backward class people for reservations. Sir, this is a pioneer. Then only India in the Parliament have acted. Therefore, second, sir, I am going insisting, Minister Madam, to include Tamil Nadu fishermen. He is one of the people who are hunting people in the sea. There is a request, many times we are raising in the Parliament, to include these Tamil Nadu fishermen as also scheduled tribe, because that is demand for our former Chief Minister, Madam Jayalalitha, passed in the Assembly also, recommending that. And also other community, as Kuruba said, Sharma said, this is also we are requesting Kurubas. Another important, Valmiki community. Valmiki community, if you take Karnataka, it is a tribal thing. In Tamil Nadu, it's not like that. Therefore, if you take, for example, my place, Hosur, Andhra also, they are discussing. This is a very, very important. It's a long demand by the Tamil Nadu people and as Andhra people to see the even Telangana people to see that when Karnataka is the Valmiki people as tribal thing, it has to be included in the list. This has to be considered. Next, madam, regarding the Baduga community, also in the Ooty, they are also requesting to include that. Then the Stone-cut Vaddas community, that is another community. That is also very, in Karnataka, there are tribal people. But in Tamil Nadu, that community also, like Valmiki, the Vadda community also, that is stone cutters, they are treated in Karnataka state as tribal people. But in Tamil Nadu, not like that. Why this concept? Because ST and ST, whoever living in India, throughout India, they have to treat it the same way. Why a discrimination? One state is tribal, another state, even the state governments are recommending. Because you cannot say Tamil Nadu not governmenting, as Kurubas we are recommending, the Valmiki community we are recommending these fishermen people, fishermen community also, and Baduga communities, the Ooty people. These are the communities are recommending, state government. They are considering, even committees also accepting, but the central government has to come forward. But I requested the Honorable Minister, many times my Minister, very, very sympathetic man from Orissa is coming. He knows about the Tamil Nadu fishermen. As a delegation, I met on behalf of them and requesting him to consider to include this tribal community. So once again, madam, because our Dravidian movement, as our colleague said, we are the champions for the reservation for the OBC people and ST people, which enacted in Tamil Nadu, Madras province at that time. Therefore, we are none less anything behind that. Therefore, this is the high time to request the central government and also consider our request to include, as I said, Tamil Nadu fishermen, Kurubas community, and Valmiki community, and Baduga community, and the Odda community, all must be included, tribal community. I request Honorable to consider this on behalf of ADMK party and also my leader, Adapati Palaniswamy. I am requesting to them consider this. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Shantanu Sen.
Thank you, respected madam. While standing to speak on this bill, it really gives me pain when I recall that the respected President of India, who belongs to a tribal community, is not invited during the inauguration of this new parliament building or during the Pran Pratishtha in Ajodhya. This reflects how this government respects the tribal communities at large. I also recall in Madhya Pradesh, one BJP leader urinating on the face of a tribal person. This is very unfortunate. Sir, I once again thank you from my party and my leader, Madam Mamata Banerjee. I am here to speak on this bill. This amendment seeks to modify the list of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in relation to Orissa. The modification of the list, a recommendation from the state to the center, scrutiny by the Tribal Affairs or Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry, and consent from the National Commission for SC and ST. I trust that the Commission have scrutinized this proposal adequately and are convinced of their merits. In 2011, the census said 8.6% of country's population was composed of tribal people, amounting to 10.4 crore people. I urge the government to conduct the 2021 census at the earliest, so that we can update our data and provide benefits to our most vulnerable citizens. These legislations being planned can't be based on a 10-year-old population data frame, madam. The gross enrollment ratio, that is GAR, of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe students at the undergraduate level, standing at 23% and 17.2% respectively, is very unsatisfactory both numbers being short of the national average of 26.3%. The Central Education Institutions Reservation in Admission Act 2006 mandates 15%, 7.5% and 27% quotas for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC students. However, the acceptance rate of application for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC in IIM has been below 4% most unfortunately. For the past 4 years, IIM Ahmedabad received 78 PhD applications from scheduled tribe students between 2018-19 and 2021-22, but only 2 have been accepted. IIM Bangalore, they accepted only 3 out of 188 applications submitted by scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and others. Only 2.5% or 137 scheduled tribe students out of 3430 eligible applicants were admitted across all the IITs in last year. There are 23.5% scheduled caste and 5.8% scheduled tribe of total population in my home state, West Bengal, madam. The educational situation of scheduled tribe communities also raised concerns. According to 2011 census, it reports the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe literacy rate in India was 75.2% and 68.5%. That's for male. And for female, 56.5% for SC and 49.4% for ST. The West Bengal scenario, the SC and ST literacy rate in male is 84.5% and 74.15% in case of ST. And that for female, in case of ST, it's nearly 65% and for ST is nearly 44% respectively. 3 Santali medium schools at Keshpur, at Debra and Ghatal in West Mendipur district have been set up. Coaching is provided for joint entrance exam, NEET exam through 36 centers across the state, especially for the poor students belonging to SC/ST community. We have put in place an ST/ST pension scheme to take care of the vulnerable elderly in these communities. We have also established various lending programs, madam, to help grow entrepreneurship in these communities. To ensure holistic and sustainable development of Lodha Sabar communities in Jangal Mahal areas, the West Bengal Lodha Sabar Development Board has been formed. Bengal is the only state in India where under the leadership of Madam Mamata Banerjee, our Honorable Chief Minister, the only lady Chief Minister of the country, a dedicated Scheduled Caste Advisory Council has been set up. That is our vision for the welfare of the scheduled caste, which is sadly not being mirrored at the union level, madam. Our constitution recognizes group identity and its importance for social empowerment and marginalized. Via these provisions, the constitution balances between the history of injustice faced by certain groups and personal liberty. People must be given an assertion of their group identity. Treating every person as an individual would not be sufficient to gain equality and equity for personhood, madam, as it will ignore their different life realities and caste and tribe identity, which require the protection of law. It is the duty of the state to ensure these protections to reach people in the best way possible in both letter and spirit. In our state of West Bengal, under the leadership of Madam Mamata Banerjee, there are 2 important schemes existing for these people. One is Joy Johor, one is Tapsali Bandhu. Cultural sector of this section of people has been tremendously improved by Madam Mamata Banerjee, our Chief Minister and our government.
So just
30 seconds. Tribal board has been formed and especially the eminent persons from these particular groups, they are being encouraged by several ways by our government. And lastly, I will conclude by saying there are few hill communities such as Bhujel, Gurung, Mangar, Newar, Jogi, Khas, Rai, Shaniwar, Thami, Yaka and Dhimal. This need to be included in the list which has already been sent by our state government long back. My urge to the government will be kindly do the needful so that these groups also can be included And finally, I will conclude by saying, if our government really wants to do something good for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe community, keeping apart the ego, please come to our state of our West Bengal, take a lesson from our Chief Minister, Madam Mamata Banerjee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Sevadasan.
Respected Madam, here this government is introducing lot of bills. But what is the purpose of these bills? If they are interested in the development of the SC/ST community, then they should provide the facility for education, health, and employment. But they are not ready to provide this facility for downtrodden of the society. Respected Madam, see, the universities, they introduced university, they told the university for downtrodden these SC/ST community. But what is the reality? There, faculties is not there. They are established the universities without faculties. Students are there, but faculties is not there. The appointment is not happening. Majority of the universities, majority of the education institutions are running without regular teachers. Only the appointment is contract-based appointment. Madam, agriculture sector, majority of the SC and ST communities are working in agriculture sector as an agricultural worker. They are not getting pension. Why? The government is not providing the pension through the agricultural workers. The government of Kerala is providing the agricultural workers pension. That we are seeing, but the majority of the state government, where this ruling party is in the ministry, they are not providing. Respected Madam, there in the employment sector, you see, earlier this SC/ST community, they got the job because of the reservation. But reservation is there, but the employment opportunity is not there. You see, you look at the issue in BSNL, after 2017, a single appointment was not happened in BSNL. Why they are not conducting the appointment in BSNL, the one of the important public sector company? In railway, 226,000 posts are lying vacant. Madam, these posts are lying vacant. Then how the SC/ST community will get the reservation? In principle, they are saying the reservation is there, the other facilities there, but they are not ready to provide the education and employment facility for the downtrodden, for the SC/ST community in our nation. So I am requesting this government, you should provide the education facility, employment facility for the downtrodden. You are making only the bill, regulations and acts, so you please invest the money to the public sector companies, government employment creative areas. Thank you, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you. Shri Raga Krishnaya. Absent. Shri Kanak Medela Ravindra Kumarji.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Shri Kanak Medla ji.
Thank
Sir,
you for giving this opportunity, madam.
You have 2 minutes.
The Constitutional Scheduled Tribunal Bill 2024, I'm very thankful to you for giving this opportunity to participate in the discussion. The bill aims to amend the Constitution tribes in Andhra Pradesh 22 for entry 25 of the following entry substituted. and 25 Purja Bonda, and 28 Sarvas and Kapu Sarvas. I welcome the instant proposal to amend the Scheduled Tribes Order. At this juncture, I would like to draw the attention of the government to flight certain communities in the state of Andhra Pradesh who are demanding the ST status. The Valmikis and Boyas community are demanding ST status. The demand of the Boya community to grant ST status of 4 decades old. The then AP government under the able leadership of Sri Chandrababu Naidu Garu had constituted a committee headed by P. Satyapal and submitted a report. Then, basing on that report, then SC/ST Commission, the government Andhra Pradesh also approved the proposal and sent it to the Government of India 2018 after getting it ratified by the Cabinet. The central government referred the issue to the Census Commission, which rejected the proposal, stating that the Boyas in Andhra Pradesh were not the same as the Valmikis in Karnataka who enjoyed the SC status. As on the date, Boya and Valmiki castes are deprived of SC status. I take this opportunity to urge the central government to give a sympathetic and considerations to the demands Boya and Valmiki castes to take earnest steps to give the SC status as soon as possible. Sir, at this juncture, I would like then the central government referred the issues for Census Commission, which rejected the proposal of the state. Then coming to with regard to the scheduled tribes in the state of Andhra Pradesh, there is a lot of, particularly scheduled tribe constituencies, there is no infrastructure facilities. Though the mere adding them into a scheduled tribe order by making an amendment is not sufficient, it is better to create infrastructure facilities like education, medical, and other health problems to the tribes and scheduled caste. But in the state of Andhra Pradesh, day in and day out, there is a harassment by the state government with regard to the scheduled tribes and particularly scheduled tribes. There is no medical facilities. Even today, they have to carry the women for 6 to 7 kilometers from their respective tandas of the scheduled tribes. So, despite of the request, the Andhra Pradesh government did not choose to provide any infrastructure facilities. I request the honorable central government to take up the issue and to provide infrastructure facilities to the scheduled tribes in the state of, particularly in the state of Andhra Pradesh, since the government is deliberately neglecting them. Thank you.
Thank you. Shri H.D. Devagowda. Srimati Sumitra Balmik. Madam, you have 10 minutes.
थैंक यू सभापति महोदया, आपने मुझे एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय के बिल पर बोलने का अवसर दिया। मैं आपको धन्यवाद देती हूँ। अनुसूचित जातियाँ और अनुसूचित जनजातियाँ आदेश संशोधन विधेयक 2024 ये उड़ीसा से संबंधित है। इसमें और भी राज्यों का भी उल्लेख हुआ है। माननीय महोदया, मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि आज़ाद भारत में पहली बार अनुसूचित जाति के वर्ग से आने वाले सम्मानीय श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी को राष्ट्रपति पद प्राप्त हुआ और अभी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में देश के सर्वोच्च पद पर राष्ट्रपति माननीय अनुसूचित जनजाति से श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी को बनाया गया है। यह गौरव की बात है कि हम जिस देश में रह रहे हैं उस देश में भी हमें कई बार उपेक्षाओं का दंश झेलना पड़ा। आज़ाद भारत 1947 के बाद में जो न्याय मिलना था वो इस वर्ग को नहीं मिला। महोदया, जिन्होंने देश में सर्वस्व निछावर कर हिंदुस्तान की आक्रमणकारियों से लड़ाई में अपनी हवेलियां, अपने महल छोड़कर जंगल में जाकर रहने लगे और उन्हें कुछ सरकारों ने वनवासी नाम दिया, जबकि वो मूल यहाँ के अधिकारी थे जिन्होंने क्रांतिकारियों के रूप में अपना धर्म और अपनी रक्षा करने के लिए उन्होंने कई पीढ़ियां बलिदान की। महोदया, मैं मंत्री महोदय का धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी कि जिन्होंने संशोधन बिल लाकर राज्यसभा में आज एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम उठाया है। मैं इस संशोधन के लिए, बिल के लिए सहर्ष सभी सदस्यों से चाहती हूँ कि वो सहर्ष न्याय मिलने की प्रक्रिया में अपना योगदान दें और इन्हें शीघ्र स्वीकृति दें। महोदया, शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य में इनके आज भी आप देखेंगे तो बहुत ही अभी परिवर्तन नहीं हुए हैं। जहाँ ये जंगल में अपना जीवन व्यतीत करते हैं तो इनका आज ये कहा जाता है कि जल, जीवन और जंगल में ये राज करते हैं, जबकि इनकी मूल धारणा ये है कि यदि प्राकृतिक संपदाएं यदि बची हैं तो इनके कारण बची हुई हैं, आदिवासी और अनुसूचित जाति के कारण। महोदया, जैसा कि अभी माननीय सदस्य कनक मेंदला जी ने कहा है कि अभी आंध्र प्रदेश में कुछ ऐसे स्टेट में हैं जहां पर वाल्मीकि समाज को 1950 के पहले जनजाति का दर्जा था, लेकिन जब वर्तमान सरकार आई 1954 के बाद में कुछ स्थानों पर इनको एससी की कैटेगरी में रखा गया है। महोदया, मैं चाहती हूँ कि ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बिल है। इसमें हम उन आदिवासी जनजातियों का भाग्य लिखने जा रहे हैं। क्यों ना एक समग्र पूरे आंध्र प्रदेश में वाल्मीकि समाज कुछ स्टेटों में यदि जनजाति में है और कुछ स्टेटों में एससी में है, तो पूरे आंध्र प्रदेश में, पूरे स्टेट में इनको जनजाति का दर्जा प्राप्त हो। माननीय महोदय से भी मेरा इसी का आग्रह है। महोदया, मेरा मानना है कि जैसे माननीय मोदी जी ने कहा कि हमारी सिर्फ 4 जाति हैं और वो गरीब, महिला, युवा और किसान, इनका उत्थान ही हर समाज का उत्थान है और देश का उत्थान है। मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि जाति छोड़ो समाज जोड़ो की मूल धारणा से माननीय मोदी जी ने यह सच कर दिखाया है। महोदया, मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सुशासन में सरकार अनुसूचित जाति, अनुसूचित जनजाति के विकास में कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ रही है। प्रधानमंत्री जी अनुसूचित जाति अभ्युदय योजना के अंतर्गत संपूर्ण भारत में 1.899 अनुसूचित जाति बाहुल्य गांवों में आदर्श ग्राम घोषित किया गया है। महोदया, मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि 17 राज्यों में, केंद्र शासित राज्यों में माननीय मोदी जी ने अनुसूचित जनजाति और अनुसूचित जाति के स्तर को उठाने का काम किया है। आज हम देखेंगे कि उनका जनजीवन में परिवेश बदला है। महोदया, मैं यहाँ और भी कहना चाहूँगी कि माननीय मोदी जी की योजनाओं से लाभान्वित होकर आज अनुसूचित जनजाति और अनुसूचित जाति के लोगों में लगभग 1,14,07,22 लोगों को लाभान्वित हुआ है और इनकी दशा और दिशा बदली है। महोदया, इस अवधि में 1,17,00,000 की जहाँ तक इन राज्यों में जो राशि दी गई है वो सबसे ज़्यादा अनुसूचित जाति, अनुसूचित जनजाति के लिए केंद्र प्रदेश शासित राज्यों को दी गई है। माननीय, मैं यहाँ और भी बताना चाहूँगी कि माननीय मोदी जी की योजना के माध्यम से अनुसूचित जाति और अनुसूचित जनजाति के गरीबों में सामाजिक, आर्थिक का बड़ा बदलाव आया है और इनको बढ़ाने के लिए माननीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में केंद्र सरकार ने कई अमूलचूल कदम उठाए हैं। महोदया, मैं आपके माध्यम से यह कहना चाहूँगी कि सरकार शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य पर विशेष रूप से ध्यान दे रही है। पहले कहा जाता था कि यदि स्वास्थ्य शरीर है तो सबसे बड़ी पूंजी है। तो आज मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि जिस तरह से हमारी सरकार ने कोरोना में आपने देखा होगा कि बिना भेदभाव के गरीब से गरीब की झोपड़ी में जाकर कोरोना वैक्सीन लगाई गई। इससे ये सरकार के कर्तव्य और नियत का स्पष्ट उदाहरण सामने आता है कि इन्होंने जाति और धर्म को भेद न करते हुए समग्र समाज की तरक्की के लिए उन्होंने काम किया है। महोदया, मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि अभी तक एक श्रेष्ठ योजना के अंतर्गत माननीय मोदी जी ने सबसे ज़्यादा केंद्रीय विद्यालयों में यदि अनुसूचित जाति अनुसूचित जनजाति के बच्चों को शिक्षा के लिए बढ़ावा दिया है तो माननीय मोदी जी की सरकार ने दिया है। पहले मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि केंद्रीय विद्यालयों में ये व्यवस्थाएं नहीं दी जाती थी। चाहे वो बच्चा कितना भी प्रतिभावान हो, उसको अवसर नहीं दिया जाता था और एक वर्ग विशेष की श्रेणी में रखा जाता था। माननीय महोदया, ये भ्रम टूटा है माननीय मोदी जी की सरकार में कि उन्होंने अनुसूचित जाति के वर्ग के कल्याण के लिए अनेकों कदम उठाए हैं। मैं माननीय यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में समाज के उत्थान के लिए संपूर्ण वंचित, गरीब, दलित और आदिवासी वर्ग को जो न्याय मिल रहा है, मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि जो अनुसूचित जाति बिल जनजाति जातियों के लिए संशोधन के लिए लाया गया है। महोदया, इसमें जो जातियों का उल्लेख दिया गया है, उन जातियों को आज वर्षों बाद न्याय मिलने जा रहा है, क्योंकि उन्हें रोजगार में भी नौकरियों में अवसर नहीं मिल पाते थे। ना तो उनके जाति प्रमाण पत्र बन पाते थे और ना उनको केंद्रीय नौकरियां मिल पाती थी। यदि अनुसूचित जातियों का जो सर्टिफिकेट उन्हें दिया गया था और वो जनजाति से संबंधित अपने प्रमाण प्रस्तुत करते थे, उसके बाद भी उन्हें प्रमाण पत्र नहीं दिया जाता था। वर्तमान में माननीय मंत्री जी ने यह बिल लाकर उस समस्या का हल किया है। महोदया, इनमें जो जातियों का उल्लेख दिया गया है, मैं कहना चाहूँगी, 1 मिनट, मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि उन जातियों का जो उल्लेख किया गया है, उन जातियों को विशेष रूप में अनुसूचित जनजाति के दर्जे में लाकर माननीय मंत्री महोदय का मैं हृदय से धन्यवाद करती हूँ और इस बिल का समर्थन करती हूँ। जय हिंद।
धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर एल हनुमंती।
Madam, for the opportunity to speak on Constitution Scheduled Tribes Amendment Bill 2024. Madam, this mic, please. Okay. Okay. Sir, thank you, Madam. Madam, the purpose of the bill being inclusion of synonyms or phonetic variations of the existing communities. In Odisha, it is Puriya Bhuyan, Paudi Bhuyan as synonyms of Bhuya Bhuyan, Chuktiya Bunjiya as synonym of Bunjiya, Bondo a sub-entry under Bondo Poraja and Bonda Poraja, Banda Paroja, Mankidia is a synonym of Mankiridia. Madam, in Andhra, there are similar names also which have been included into this. I request the Honorable Minister, in the last 5 to 10 years, each community being included into the scheduled tribe list or the scheduled caste list whenever the election comes or whenever the government feels it is convenient to them. But my request is, why the government cannot look at the whole scheduled caste list and scheduled tribe list afresh and make it a inclusive list of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes across the country at a time, so that this problem will not be there. And every now and then we need not have to amend this bill and make 1 or 2 inclusion or 1 or 2 exclusion. That is my first question. Sir, Madam, the government introduces a bill which includes historically oppressed communities in the scheduled caste list, and just before the elections, it is one point which I wanted to make. Demonstrating a political motive, a genuine effort for the welfare of these communities would involve enacting a single comprehensive act for the SC/ST status in the country, for which we have been demanding a caste census. Why the government is not interested to go for a caste census exclusively all the communities across the country? These communities, their socio-economic status is 2 SCs or 2 STs you can include into those lists. And once for all, these amendments across the country, each district every time need not be brought, and this can be solved at a time. I request the minister to think over this and make a comprehensive study through the ST Commission or through the SC Commission or with a separate body to look into the problems of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the country. They form about 20 to 25% of population of the country. Sir, just including a community into the scheduled caste list will not solve their problem. You have to strengthen them by giving adequate funds and also strengthening the laws to stop on atrocities on these communities. That is the major task of the government which has to take up. Sir, I just want to give certain statistics on this. Increasing crimes against scheduled tribes. Crimes against scheduled caste communities increased by 42% from 40,401 in 2018 to 57,582 in 2022 as per the National Crime Records Bureau. Sir, similarly, the scheduled tribe communities increased by 47% from 6,827 cases in 2018 and 10,064 in 2022. So under the Modi's government, every 2 hours, 5 persons from the SC/ST community are the victims of the crime. So what is the answer for this? Why we can stop the crimes or at least make to reduce the crimes? What are the actions taken by the government for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes? That is the requirement of the day. See, urgency to conduct the caste census, as I said, you will come to know that 2011 caste census data would provide a valuable snapshot of the caste composition of the population, and it has changed over time. The data could be used to track progress of social justice. The data can identify areas where more work needs to be done. But the government is not interested in the data. They wanted to hide the data so that we wanted to strengthen these communities is not possible. So my earnest request is, please go for a caste census so that you will get the socio-economic progress of the communities which are under BPL, which are subject to the crimes of the society, that can be stopped or avoided only with the data of the different states. Sir, without a caste census, the effective social justice and empowerment programs cannot be done. And especially for other backward classes, the data is missing. So a caste-based census would reveal disparities in wealth, disparities in income, and education also between the upper caste and the non-upper caste, particularly the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBCs. So I just want to bring to your kind notice, sir, stopping of pre-metric scholarship for SC/ST students. This is a grave injustice. According to the statistics of the government, the recent decision by this government to stop pre-metric scholarship, Maulana Azad National Fellowship for marginalized communities, including SC, ST, OBCs, and minorities, it is a travesty for the marginalized section of our society. Please reinstate. The scholarship for the students is very, very important. It is just not the bonus. It will create a new awareness among the students, which the government has to reverse and keep it in stock. So why is that the government only targets the poor and marginalized, particularly SCs, STs, minorities, farmers and laborers through its decisions? Why is that? Is it the way of supporting these communities, or is it the way of suppressing these communities? I wanted to ask this question for you. Sir, it has been reported that central government has rejected crores of pre-metric scholarship applications. Please let me know what are the reasons. Whether the minister provides the detail of how many applications have been rejected in the current year and the previous year. We realize that there is a right to education in the country. It was the UPA government decision to help the marginalized society students under this Act, Right to Education Act. When the scholarships are essential tool to incentivize the education of young students from SC, ST, OBC communities and minority communities. Such a drastic measure will indeed affect the enrollment and attendance of students from these communities at the elementary education level. But this Right to Education Act has been weakened. Students are not getting admission into good schools. They have been denied the primary scholarships. These measures has to be taken up to strengthen these communities. Otherwise, it is not possible. Sir, the large-scale government vacancies and backlog vacancies for SC, ST, OBCs are denied. As per the statistics of the government, the unstarred question 283 dated 8/12/22 in Rajya Sabha says, as per some estimates, the total vacancies in the government departments, including banks, PSUs, armed forces, education institutions, health institutions, includes about 30 lakh vacancies in the government itself. Out of these, the share of these marginalized communities, including SC, ST, OBCs, would be almost 50%. 50%, matlab it will be 15 lakh vacancies. Sir, please let me know, 15 lakh families get the government jobs, their families are strengthened. Not only the family, their kids and kins are taken care by these 15 lakh people who get a government job.